So good morning class 10th. We are going to start today's class, and before we start the class, let me show you, let me share my screen. So have patience for 15 seconds. I hope some of you are getting my screen. Are you getting my screen?
No, sir.
Must
No,
must be
sir.
coming
Yes,
on.
sir.
Is it visible now? Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay now.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
before
sir.
we start class, let me
Yes,
show you
sir.
some of the guidelines which we got from the government and from the school regarding the coronavirus. Please go through this. You need to follow these instructions for protecting from the coronavirus. These are very basic things which everybody knows, and I hope everyone is following these things. Are you following these things, instructions or not? Washing hands, cough or sneeze, social distancing, staying at home until unless you are not having any urgent work. Don't go out. Protect yourself from the coronavirus. Wear the mask. Keep washing your hands. Avoid contact with sick people. Stop the spread of germs. So these are some basic instructions which we need to follow, right? So now, so today we are going to start the constructor part. So now what is constructor? Basically, just try to understand. The constructor and the class name must be same. The first condition. And basically the constructor is just like a normal method, but it has some specific properties. The first is the name of the constructor, and the first property is name of the class and constructor name must be same. The second is it is used for initializing the data members. That we have already discussed what are data members, right? Now, the third is there are two types of constructor which we will use. The number one is the default constructor, and the second is the parameterized constructor, right? Number fourth point is it invoked automatically when we create object of the class. So these are the 4 points which is very important while working on the constructor. The first is the name of the class and the constructor name must be same, and it is used for the initializing the data members with the legal values, or sometime you are initializing with default value, or sometime you are initializing the data member with passed values. How? That I will show you in the program. Third is basically we can categorize constructor in two parts. Basically in this In your syllabus, there are only two types of constructor we will discuss. Actually, there are three types that we will discuss in the next class, in class 12 maybe. That depends. The first is the default constructor, which is not receiving any parameter, or you can say the non-parameterized constructor. How we will use that I will show you. The second one is the parameterized constructor. In this parameterized constructor, basically the parameterized constructor are used to initialize the data members with the formal parameters value. How? That I will show you in the upcoming program. The next point is it invoked, means normally the constructor invoked automatically when you create object in your program. So basically we create object in a main method like public static void main. Normally we create object of a class in that main method, right? But ऐसा नहीं है कि we cannot create in other function. We can create object of a class anywhere, but normally we create object in a public static void main method. And now one more very important point I have missed here. Now it has no return type, not even void. Basically constructor, see, I told you initially the constructor is just like a method, but it has some specific properties. So the first property, the name of the class and the constructor name must be same. It is used for, basically we use constructor for initializing the data member. Instead of constructor, apart from this, we can use other method also to initialize the data member. But here the concept of constructor we are using. So the main purpose of the constructor is to initialize the data member. There are two types of constructor available. The number one is the default constructor and the second is parameterized constructor. Default constructor is also known as the non-parameterized constructor. Like if you are using a function void, like void sum. So if you are passing the parameter in the parameter list, so now this is known as non-parameterized function. And if you are passing the parameter in this round bracket, that means you are using the parameterized function. So like the same thing here, the default constructor is also known as non-parameterized constructor and the parameterized constructor which receive parameter in the constructor, right? Now the next is it invoked automatically. Basically the constructor, see, if you are declaring a method in your program, it has to be invoked for execution. If you are not calling these defined method, that means the function will not execute. But in constructor, what happens when you create object of a class, automatically that constructor executes accordingly. Means if you are if you are using default constructor, so while creation of object, if you are passing the values in a bracket, so it will invoke automatically the default, and if you are passing values, it will invoke automatically the parameterized constructor. Now see, earlier we were using functions in which the return type at least void is required. Without return type, the function we cannot declare. But in case of constructor, there has to be no return type, not even void. If you are using void, you will get an error, because this is the property that there has to be no return type in constructor, right? Am I clear these things? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion in this?
Yes, sir.
What? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very few of
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
I didn't know that. No confusion.
Okay, no problem. Okay, out of 50 students, only 40 of you have joined till now. So very late. Okay, so now see the working. So let me show you a small example using the default constructor. The program is sum of two integers using default constructor. So for that, first of all we will take a class name. Then now see, as you know, here the constructor is used to initialize the data member. So first of all, the point is how many data members and what type of data members we will declare. And for declaring the data members, after declaring the class, after the opening braces, before the functions part is known as the global area, where you can declare the data members. So here the question is sum of two integers using default constructor. That means there are two integer variables are required to be declared as data member in the global area. So like here I am using A and B. So these two are the data members. So here I am not using the static keyword before this. So now that means this is a instance variable. Now after declaring the data member, now one more thing is required, that is the constructor. As you know, the constructor has no return type. So no return type, only the function name, that is the constructor name, and now no parameter. So this is the prototype of the default constructor. After that, we need to define the working. So what we are supposed to do in this part, basically in this part we are supposed to initialize the data member. So the data member we have declared A and B. So here we are supposed to declare some value by any value. See, in the question we are supposed to generate sum of two integers using default constructor. So the values are not mentioned. So here any value of your choice, you can store -10, you can store -100 or any other value. So like that I have used A equals to 10 and B equals to 20. Now whenever you are using constructors, always remember, apart from the constructor, one more minimum method is required for doing the working. So in this program we are supposed to find the addition. So for that we are using one method for doing the sum. So here the data members, so the property of the data member is we can declare these data members throughout the member method directly. Means here directly we can access A and B. So that means we are working on the value of A and B, that is 10 and 20, and we are using A and B without redeclaring in the find method. How it is possible? Just because we have declared A and B as your data member and they are accessible in the member method of a class. So here we are simply printing the sum, and the for printing the sum we are using a local variable, the local variable which we declare inside the opening and the closing curly braces. As here I have declared int c in the void find. So this local variable is not accessible outside of this opening and the closing curly braces of void find method. So now after that we need to declare public static void main. This is the main method which is required for execution. Now in the main method, now we need to invoke the constructor and we need to invoke the find. So for invoking the constructor part, means how the constructor will execute. So for execution of the constructor, first of all we are supposed to create object of a class. So for creating object we need to declare the class name, then the object name, whatever you want you can use instead of obj, like dd, ab, whatever, but that has to be unique. Then using the new keyword we are calling we are creating a object. Now you can see here in this part what we are doing, this is a simple class name and this is a variable name, or you can say the object, and with the help of this we are allocating the memory to this data member. And now using this part we are calling the constructor. See, in this calling, while calling this, in the bracket, in the parenthesis, we are not passing any value. That means we are calling the default constructor. So after here, automatically when you will execute this program, the compiler will move the from here to this constructor part. And now what will happen? We are assigning a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. So this obj.a we are storing 10 and obj.b we are storing 20. So after executing this whole part, again your control coming back to the next line of this creation of object. And in the next line what we have done and what we are supposed to do, now we are doing this obj.find. So what we are doing, we are calling a method with the help of object. Now see, this is the basic things, means when we will invoke this method using the object of a class. So for calling a function, everybody knows how to call. The return type of the find method is void, so we are not using any variable and the equals to sign. Find is a member method of a class ABC. So for calling a member method of a class, we need to use the object name dot. Dot is a dot operator. Basically, with the help of this dot operator, we can access the member method of a class with the help of object. So void find. So this part will execute, and here we are doing the sum in C, and then we are directly printing, right? So now let me show you the output. So I will copy and paste this program in the text pad only. We are not taking input. I hope till here things are clear. Now let me show you the output. So the output must be 30. This is the simple basic working of the constructor, the default constructor. Have patience, bachcho, is coming now. Now see. As you can see here, the output is coming 30. Is it okay, everybody? So this is the basic working of constructor. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now in the same program, I will show you the working of parameterized constructor. So for the parameterized constructor, as you know, we can take input from the user also, or we can pass the fixed value. So here I am going to take input from the user. So for that we need to do some change. Now this is the basic working of this operator. Now I am using the parameterize constructor. Now, so in case of parameterized constructor, please wait. In case of now see, the prototype is different now. So now the constructor is receiving two parameter. So while creating the object, now in this bracket we are supposed to pass two variables, or you can say the value. So like in function also, we were, when you were using the parameterize function, in that case also, before calling this function, before calling that function, we were taking the input from the user. So here also we are supposed to take input from the user. So for that, look at here. First of all, we will create object of a scanner, because we are going to take input from the user. Instead of this, you can pass the values also. So now, after taking two values, why I am taking two values from the user? Because in the constructor we are receiving only two parameters. So now, while creating object, we need to pass the parameters in which we are taking input. So the value of x, y, please try to understand. So what will happen when you will execute your program? The main method execute first. After that, we are creating object of scanner. Then we are taking two numbers from the user, and after that we are creating object. So while creation of object, we are passing x and y in any sequence. Why in any sequence? Because both the parameter are of the same type. In this case, we can change the sequence. But if the first parameter is of integer and the second is like string, in that case, here while calling, it has to be integer, then the second must be string. The sequence must be matched in case of different parameter. So now when the compiler execute this, so the value of x and y is coming into these formal parameter. And now please pay attention, in this formal parameter, the name of the data member and the formal parameter both are same. So whenever you are having this type of situation in which in the constructor you are having the formal parameter variable name and the data member both are having the same name, in that case, for differentiation we always use the this keyword. So now this dot a, basically this dot a is representing the data member. So ultimately what is happening in this line? In this line we are copying the formal parameter, that is a, into the data member. So for differentiation only we use this operator. Am I clear, everyone? So ultimately the formal parameters values are coming in this data member, and after that we are calling void obj.find. So ultimately whatever value you have entered while inputting, those values you have already stored with the help of constructor in the data member, and then we are directly using those data members and then printing the sum. Now I hope this one is clear, everyone. Any query? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So now let me show you the output of this one. So before that, first of all, we are supposed to compile it again, because we have done some changes in the previous question. So this will take some time because machine is slow. So don't worry, this will come. It will take hardly 5 or 10 seconds. So now, okay, so now let me show you the output. So now first of all we are supposed to enter a value like 12. So the first value we are storing in x, and the second value we are storing in y. So after that your control moves to the constructor part, means the value of x is 12 and the value of y is 15. So these two values we are getting in these formal parameter a and b. After that we are simply copying into the data member using the this operator. So when this operator is required when you are having the data member and the formal parameter which you are using in the constructor, both are having the same name. So sometimes you are getting a question in the boards in which the parameter are also mentioned, and if they are same you will use this, but if it is not same, so there is no need to use this operator. In that case this is optional. Okay, there is no need, and then we are getting the sum. Okay, I hope this one is clear, everybody. Can we continue the next program?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just note down the question. Note down a question and try it and post in the chat box. I am giving you a question. Enter. Write a program and calculate area of rectangle using parameterized constructor. Using parameterized constructor, find the area of rectangle. Everybody please do it fast. And post your solution in the chat box. Vishwesh, Rohan, Vansh, do it fast. Prajwal,
Yes, sir.
and post your solution in the chat box. Out of 50, only 43 of you have joined. Divyansh Yadav, do it. Ayush. Today we will do very basic
Yes, sir.
programs using the constructor. Okay, Ayush beta kariye. I hope everybody is getting this concept. Anybody having any query? Aryan Singh? Aryan? Beta, please join on time. You have joined just now, before 5 minutes. Harshnath Jha, do it beta. Pulkit, Pulkit, I received your project beta. And one more have submitted. Vaishnavi, everybody, again I am repeating, you need to submit your project in the PDF file on the mail ID on which you people were sending the assignments. And before Diwali, it has to reach to me. And in the subject line, please mention your name and in the bracket write down computer project. Okay, Archita? Okay, Aryan Singh? I will not repeat again and again. You need to send only the PDF file. Don't click the picture and send it to me. And use the both side of the punch sheet. In the other side, on the left side, you can use the VD table. Rohan, are you getting my point, beta? Rohan Jain. Kritika Yadav. Okay, Jayesh Khare, wait.
Should I put him now?
Okay. Beta Jayesh, main, okay, main you have capital. Very good. Very good, beta. Kasaudan. Kasaudan.
Thank you, sir.
Kasaudan.
Yes, sir.
Beta, it is wrong. You have not declared the data member. See, in
Okay,
case,
sir.
beta, see, in logical way, if you are seeing this program, so this is correct. But in this program, we are supposed to utilize the concept of constructor, and the constructor is used to initialize the data member. In other way, we can say it is correct. Logically, it is correct. But the thing is, you need to declare the data member, and the object you cannot, the constructor you cannot invoke like this. The constructor has to be invoked while creation of the object. Getting my point? Please
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
rectify your problems. Unmute yourself. Siddh Sigatia, Kinjal, do it, beta. Prakhar Kumar, Prakhar Kumar. Prakhar, I am not getting your voice. Speak up. And if you are having a problem in your mic, please respond in the chat box. Prakhar, you joined very late. Join on time, next time onwards, before 5 minutes. Ayush Agrawal. Beta Ayush.
Yes, sir.
While using this, T must be in small, and in int also I must be in small letter, and here it is not required because the data member and the formal parameter which you are using in the constructor both are different. Okay, it is not required. Angesh, yes Angesh, absolutely correct, beta. Very good, well done Angesh. Pulkit, do it, beta. Aryan, Shashwat Singh, Aryan Singh, Prakhar Kumar, wait after the class. Don't leave. I need to talk to you. And even Sarmishta Singh also. Just wait after the class. Sushant, you also, beta. Okay, Pulkit, wait. Very good, Pulkit. Well done, beta. Absolutely correct. You need to copy these programs in your fair notebook. Vansh Verma, you will also wait after the class. Shivam beta, you will wait after the class. Do it fast, bachcho, and send your program in the chat box. Raghav, Prajwal, Kinjal, do it fast, bachcho. Okay, Kasaudan, this is not required here. Okay,
What, sir?
This operator is not required because the parameters and the data members both are having the different name. ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
Rest is fine. Very good. Shashwat Agrawal and Shashwat Singh,
Thank you, sir.
do it fast. So in this program we are using the parameterized constructor. Okay? Vishwesh, do it beta. Any problem? Vishwesh Tiwari,
No, sir.
beta please do it and send it.
Yes, sir.
Pratyaksh, Atharv, Tandon Saab, fast. Okay. Prajwal Sahu, wait. Prajwal, beta this is wrong. See the constructor part, you have used A and B and you are assigning L and B. And this dot P is not required. This operator, see, I have told this is required when you are having the data member and the constructor parameter having the same name, and here both are different, only B is same. So this dot B equals to B instead of P and Q. It is wrong. Okay? Okay, Prajwal. Prajwal Sahu. Prajwal, please respond. Are you getting my voice? Do it fast, बच्चों.
So I have posted on in the chat box.
Okay. Yes, Shashwat. Wait. Yes, Shashwat, absolutely correct, beta. Well done. So now, this program
sir.
and one more program I am going to give you. Please write down. Shashwat Singh, beta, wait. Shashwat, beta, here this operator is not required. You have used the different parameters as the data member. So this dot Q and this dot W, it is not required. Okay? Rest is fine, beta. Now, write down a homework and this program and this classwork. Both program you will send on my mail. Now the next question is for the homework. Using parameterized constructor, find SCF of 3 number. Find SCF of 3 number. Now the question I have posted in the chat box. Using parameterized constructor, find SCF of 3 number. This is your homework. And the classwork, both programs you will have to send on my mail by tomorrow 9 p.m. Is that clear? And those who are having doubt, they will wait. Rest of you can leave. And those whose name I have taken, they will wait. Now with this I am ending the class. Thank you so much everybody. You can leave now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.